What a weekend it has been in the AFC West. You could feel the tension building across the league as the scores trickled in, each result setting the stage for something extraordinary. And here we are, standing on the eve of one of the most significant Raiders-Chargers matchups in recent memory. The irony is that the Raiders didn't even take the field today. They didn't need to. Because sometimes the best victories come not from what you do, but from what your rivals failed to do. And on this Sunday, the dominoes fell in near-perfect fashion for Raider Nation. The Chiefs lost. The Broncos lost. And suddenly, tomorrow night's Monday Night Football showdown is no longer just another divisional clash. It is an opportunity. A golden opportunity that has not presented itself to the silver and black in more than 2 decades. For the first time since 2002, the year the Raiders last stood atop the AFC West, the division is vulnerable. The gates are open, the moment is here, and the path to first place is right in front of them. That's what makes tomorrow night so monumental. It is not simply about beating the Chargers, it is about seizing control of a division that has eluded them for 20 years. Let's start with the defending champions. Because what unfolded today in Kansas City is the kind of storyline that Raider fans have dreamed of. The mighty Chiefs, the team that has ruled the AFC with Patrick Mahomes as their indomitable leader, have stumbled out of the gates. They are 0-2 after a loss to the Philadelphia Eagles, falling by a narrow score of 20-17. But this wasn't just a routine loss. It was something far more symbolic. For the first time in the Mahomes era, the Chiefs looked human. They looked beatable. They looked ordinary. Mahomes had never dropped 3 straight games before today. Never. Not in the regular season, not in the playoffs, not even including February's Super Bowl defeat. But now here he is on the wrong side of history. And with an upcoming schedule that features not just the Giants but the Ravens, there is a real possibility Kansas City could find themselves staring down a 1-3 record. For a franchise so used to dominance, the cracks are showing. And for the Raiders, those cracks are opportunities. But it wasn't just Kansas City's misstep that fueled the fire. Oh no, Raider Nation was treated to even more chaos when the Broncos took the field. Denver had victory within its grasp against the Colts, but in true Broncos fashion, they let it slip through their fingers in spectacular fashion. The score was 29-28 Indianapolis, but the story was in the ending. A 60-yard field goal attempt by the Broncos kicker, wide right, short, and the game appeared over. But a flag flew. A personal foul. A mistake of discipline, of composure, of awareness. The ball moved 15 yards closer, and the Colts' second attempt sailed through the uprights with ease. Game over, Broncos lose. And suddenly, the AFC West doesn't look like the fortress it once did. But let's not kid ourselves. This won't be easy. The Chargers may be inconsistent, but they are no pushover. They're coming off a statement win over the Chiefs in Week 1, a victory that had pundits crowning them as one of the top 3 teams in football. With Justin Herbert at the helm, Keenan Allen terrorizing secondaries, and Khalil Mack anchoring their pass rush, Los Angeles is dangerous. The Raiders will have to be at their absolute best. The storylines heading into this game, though, are not just about standings. They're about bodies. Injuries are front and center, and for the Raiders, it's a mix of good news and bad. First, the good, Brock Bowers. The rookie phenom whose knee injury had fans fearing the worst earlier in the week is officially cleared. No ACL tear, no devastating MCL sprain, just a PCL tweak, uncomfortable but manageable. By kickoff, he'll be close to 100%. And for a Raiders offense desperate for weapons, that is nothing short of massive. But then comes the bad news. Jackson Powers-Johnson, the young lineman the Raiders have invested so much hope in, is out with a concussion. And this isn't his first. It's his 3rd dating back to college, and that's where the concern grows. Multiple concussions change a player's life. They make every hit riskier, every blow more dangerous. And watching JPJ's tape last week, the signs were there. He looked sluggish, disoriented, missing assignments, spinning in circles as defenders rushed past him. The moment it happened was clear. A hit, a stumble, and a sack allowed on the very next play. Now, with him sidelined indefinitely, the Raiders turn to Alex Kappa. He's reliable, yes, but this is a step down. And against a Chargers defense designed to exploit mismatches, this is a vulnerability. So how do the Raiders win? It starts with Ashton Ginty, not in the predictable between the tackles kind of way, but creatively. Get him outside. Use him in motion. Slip him out wide and force linebackers to chase him. Last week, he recorded 38 rushing yards but 45 yards after contact. Think about that. He gained more yards after getting hit than he did before. That tells you all you need to know about the offensive line's struggles. If they can't create space for him, then let him create space for himself. as a receiver, as a decoy, as a weapon in motion. Pair him with 12 personnel sets, Bowers and Michael Mayer on the field, and suddenly mismatches appear. Defensively, the Raiders' path is just as clear. Hit Justin Herbert. Rattle him. Shake his confidence. Because a comfortable Herbert is lethal, he will carve you apart with laser precision. But a Herbert under duress, a Herbert second-guessing his reads, is vulnerable. And that's where Max Crosby comes in. The talk all week has been about rookie tackle Joe Alt. Analysts have praised his poise, his footwork, his size. But Max Crosby has heard it all. This is his chance to remind everyone that hype doesn't beat experience. If Crosby dominates, if he makes Alt look like the rookie he is, the Chargers' offense unravels. And don't forget Keenan Allen. The veteran receiver remains the heartbeat of this offense. Last week, 6 of his 7 catches resulted in either first downs or touchdowns. That efficiency cannot be allowed to continue. The Raiders' secondary must press him, frustrate him, force Herbert to look elsewhere. Because if Allen is rolling, the Chargers' offense becomes nearly unstoppable. Meanwhile, the battle in the trenches swings both ways. With Rashawn Slater gone for the season, the Chargers' offensive line is patchwork at best. Trey Pipkins is starting on the right side, and that is where Malcolm Kuntz has to shine. If Crosby wins his duel and Kuntz does the same, Herbert will be running for his life. And once that happens, turnovers follow. Tomorrow night will not be for the faint of heart. It will be physical, violent, and raw. 2 teams that know each other well, 2 fan bases that despise each other, colliding on national television with the division hanging in the balance. And for the Raiders, the stakes are higher than ever. A win doesn't just put them in first place, it changes everything. Suddenly, they're not the underdogs. Suddenly, they're not the afterthoughts. Suddenly, they are contenders. It's wild to consider how quickly the landscape has shifted. 2 weeks ago, the narrative was clear. The Chiefs and Chargers would fight for the crown while the Raiders and Broncos scraped for relevance. But tonight, on the eve of Monday Night Football, the Raiders stand on the verge of flipping that script. If they deliver under the bright lights, if they walk out victorious, the AFC West is theirs to lose. And that's why tomorrow is about more than football. It's about redemption. It's about 20 years of frustration, heartbreak, and waiting. It's about proving to the league and to themselves that the silver and black are back. So Raider Nation, buckle up. Because tomorrow night, history is calling. The AFC West crown may have slipped through their fingers this week, but the season isn't lost yet. The question is simple. Will the Raiders learn from their mistakes, or will they keep beating themselves?